to get everyone on the same page. They've been burning the midnight oil, and a lot of tired faces around here, but also a lot of joy, a lot of happiness to be able to experience this great day.
You're looking at the honor guard of the Miami Police Department. Of course, the City of Miami fire truck right there. I believe Bernie's not far behind as the white hotness continues to don your screen, and here they come. Confetti flying, representing the greatness that is a championship. John, I think about these guys that came together 2 years ago. Next month. Isn't that amazing?
It is. It's so rare that you can put together so many players and get them on the same page so quickly, Jax. I mean, this is an amazing accomplishment. You know, to get to the finals last year so quickly with like 9 new players on the roster, and then to bring in a few more this year and really continue to galvanize that core group. They continue to mature, get used to each other, be able to communicate without having to speak, and you saw that continue maturation process throughout the course of the playoffs. And you know, you got to be tested by fire at times. You got to go through the tough times, the losing, to be able to come together even tighter and be able to get over the hump, and the Heat were able to do that.
Now also in all of this is a wonderful truck. I think it might be the most important truck of them all, John. There's a confetti truck to keep the joy and excitement going, and it always feels like a party. As you can see, there's Bernie right there, and right behind Bernie, there he is, the architect of the entire thing. The man who was on a Carnival cruise ship some 17 years ago, talking about a parade down Biscayne Boulevard. But how about his second? And then the man who brought him here those 17 years ago, Mickey Arison. What a wonderful transition in family leadership and civic responsibility. I love the Arison family story, John, and I'll tell it till the day I die. Because you have Ted Arison, the patriarch of the family, the originator and founder of Carnival Cruise Line, who had never seen a basketball game in his life, but was convinced to lay down millions of dollars because it was the right thing at the right time in the right city. And then the wonderful seamless transition from Ted to Mickey, both with Carnival Cruise Lines and the Miami Heat. Now, with Ted and Mickey, of course, the wonderful world-renowned cruise shipping business is paramount. And that's not to say that it won't be for the third generation, but there's something a little different that burns inside the Miami Heat Chief Executive Officer. I'm sure he will be a wonderful caretaker of the Carnival Cruise Line legacy, but there's something special about the Miami Heat for him because his entire life has been centered around basketball, from being a ball boy with this team, the manager at Duke University for 4 years, to be connected to USA Basketball in a managerial way, and now the leading business and basketball official for the Miami Heat organization. When people say that the Miami Heat is a family business, that is not cliche. That's exactly what it is.
This is one of the elite franchises, Jax, absolutely no question. And I feel qualified to say that because I played on 7 other teams in the NBA.
Yes, sir.
And had an opportunity to experience that. And it really starts from the top and works its way down. And you mentioned the Arison family, a true class act. Obviously great business people that understand what's going on in the community and are very deeply involved, making the right decisions with basketball-wise to bring in a Pat Riley who obviously knows the game both from a coaching and a president standpoint, decision-making and the quality of the people that he brings in along with the talent, because you got to have character with your talent to really have championship-type runs. And this has been a great opportunity with this all-star group in here who are character guys, who are ambassadors of the game, and continue to play at a high level and be involved with the community. So it's really a tremendous organization from top to bottom, and I'm just so pleased to be part of it and happy for them today.
Sun Sports coverage of the Miami Heat's championship celebration continues in a moment.
Along with Mickey Arison and Nick Arison, let us not forget, of course, Madeline Arison, you know, the queen of all things Heat,
right.
And Kelly Arison,
spouses who make it happen.
Well, the great philanthropic work that they lead through the Miami Heat Share Fund and Project MetaShare is always awesome. With Pat Riley, his family, of course, Chris Riley, she is magnificent as we take a look at Bus 3, Chris Bosh and the doctor there. Elizabeth Riley, James Riley as well. It is just a wonderful feeling. When I arrived here 8 seasons ago, John, it was always the Arison and Riley families. That's the way it was discussed, the way it was presented, and it feels that way every day. On our 2006 championship rings, there are 2 words that always come to mind when I think about what's on these rings, and it's not the beautiful diamond-encrusted world champions. It's faith and family. It's the belief in one another and putting family first, basketball in its appropriate place, and then everyone working from there.
Yeah, those guys right there set the tone. And when your leaders set the tone, it trickles down and everyone buys in, and it's a great group. This group, incredibly close, had to go through a lot of adversity we talked about, and the things you mentioned, the family. Every one of the players will say that because they realize that you got to stick together when times are tough and fight through them. And from Coach Spoelstra down through the players and the support staff, they did that.
There is the co-captain, Dwyane Wade, now the 2-time champion. Appropriate that the co-captain has that trophy. He was so instrumental in leading the way to the trophy in 2006. And I'm going to argue he led the way to the 2012 trophy. It has nothing to do with the awesome play on the floor, quite honestly. It was critical to victory, don't get me wrong. But the vision, the loyalty, and the sacrifice that he provided and then paved the way for Chris Bosh and LeBron James and others to participate in are the real reason why we're sitting here today for the 2012 championship.
23 points a game throughout the course of the playoffs, but his leadership becoming much more vocal. If you remember back in 06, he was a young guy. He was about 24 years old at that time, I believe. And, you know, young to the league, if you will, and a rising star. And they really took off from there. He's had to go through personal and tough issues with this team, suffering through a losing season. And he talked about how much this championship means to him now, and he appreciates it that much more because he had to struggle to get back, Jackson. He is a more vocal leader now because he's been around as long as he has. 9 years now in the NBA for Dwyane Wade.
We have cameras everywhere. You see them, you'll feel them. One might pop right into your living room right now so we can observe your reaction. But there's one very special camera that we have locked in for our coverage today. Frank Ford has more on that. Frank?
Thanks, Jax. Right across the street from the American Airlines Arena is the Freedom Tower, one of the most iconic structures in all of downtown Miami. Built in a Spanish Renaissance style of architecture, it stands as a monument to Cuban immigration, but really serves as a beacon to everyone who's emigrated to South Florida in search of a better life. In 1979, it was placed in the U.S. Register of Historic Places, and in 2008, it was designated as a national landmark. Now, you're saying, what does this have to do with the celebration and the parade? That's a very good question I'm about to answer. We wanted to tell you about the Freedom Tower not only because of the historical significance, but also because we have one of our 33 cameras covering the parade today up here on top of the Freedom Tower, some 250 feet above street level. You'll get a great view of the parade as it comes down Biscayne Boulevard toward its conclusion. Now let's go back to Jax.
Frank, thank you very much. There's that beautiful Freedom Tower, listed as the on the National Register of Historic Places in 1979. The folks are waiting right in front of the Freedom Tower for that very last stretch of the celebration parade as it heads north on Biscayne Boulevard. The Freedom Tower was a reception center for Cuban refugees from '62 to 1974. And after the renovation in 2002, it has been the Cuban American Museum, as Frank alluded to, and there has been a recent facade renovation, and also the beacon of one of our awesome post-game games. What color is the Freedom Tower? Well, you know it's beautiful South Florida yellow, but at night, the folks at Miami-Dade College have some fun with us, and they're responsible for the lighting, and they do a really good job keeping it rolling along. You want to talk about some color.
Wow. Okay.
The Cole family van is something else.
Look at that.
All right, that thing has been through some championships statewide in Ohio. I'm sure the Horizon League has had a bit of a taste of the green magic. We have tried to, with the help of the Miami Heat fans, turn that thing white hot. And boy, have we. What I'm surprised about, we'll learn about a little bit later, is that that thing can actually run still. That's been through some damage.
That's the mystery machine. What are you talking about? That thing's got 9 lives.
Hey, look, every family has some sort of mode of transportation to get themselves to the family sporting event. The Coles have been rolling for Norris Jr. for about 20 years now, and they've won some games in that thing, and so it was great to have the karma of the Mean Green Machine from Dayton, Ohio, as a part of our experience. There's LeBron Camp, once again, enjoying, well, we might have to rename the Avenue of Champions as we roll through. How about Miami Heat Vice President of Player Programs and Miami Heat legend off there to the left on your screen? He'll come back in. Alonzo Mourning, one of your former teammates, an NBA champion, now a front office figure. What's he got to be feeling from a pride standpoint about all of this as he was at the beginning of this new era of Miami Heat excellence?
Yeah, he's been very involved. Zoe's role now is to work with the players. He really is a liaison at times, taking them out to eat, talking about what it takes to be better, giving them a lot of advice in order to handle the pressures both on and off the court. He's been there, he's done it. He's got the instant credibility with the players, and the staff really relies upon him heavily to do that throughout the course of the season. So happy for him, one of the heart and soul members of the Miami Heat, getting his ring back in '06 and now getting to experience this here with the new crop of guys that he's helped develop.
We got to ask LeBron if we can get his video off that iPhone. He's collected something special up there on the double-decker that he is rocking, double-decker. LeBron James.
Did you ever think you'd
Norris Cole now is taking over. He really has. He's taking over bus number 7. You know what? Let's talk about Norris for a second.
Oh, I knew you were going there, you Ohio native.
Well, I mean, let's just talk about it, okay? Ohio is the heart of it all as we take a peek at Dwayne Wade, who's having a great conversation with Tony Fiorillo that I'm sure will be bringing to you.
And celebrate this with us.
You know what? Before we get into Norris,
you got a message for all your fans out there.
You know what? I appreciate all our fans for sticking with us. You know, even last year through our tough, embarrassing moment, losing the finals, but sticking with us all throughout the year. And we don't care what nobody say. Our fans are the best fans in the world. We appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Dwayne, and they appreciate you, baby. Enjoy. I did, man.
As we continue our viewing of the championship, there's Chris Bosh. I want to get back to my story on Norris just for a second, because there's nowhere to go but down. You know what I mean? That's the tough thing about doing it all your rookie year. But we've known a couple rookies throughout time of great note that were able to excel beyond just one championship in their rookie year. Magic Johnson comes to mind. Not putting any pressure at all on the young fella. But how amazing. Think about your first year, John, in the NBA and achieving the ultimate, and how that must drive this young man to come in here this summer, break the workout record, which, by the way, I believe was held, the summer workout record, by Daquan Cook, his high school teammate from back in Dayton. Because once you have a taste of this, all you want is more.
No, you're right. I mean, it is absolutely intoxicating for him to be able to come in and be a contributor on this team. He got off to such a hot start, helped the team win at home in that game against the Boston Celtics, and then throughout the course of the year really provided a lot of energy off the bench, and I thought did an excellent job in the finals coming in. They needed his speed to cover Russell Westbrook. He was able to bring in some timely shooting as well when they were double teaming LeBron in the post. It's been an incredible year for him and gives him the opportunity to continue to improve, be the future guy, if you will, from that point guard position. And what better motivation than to experience something like this and now be in a parade and say, man, I want to do this again.
Over and over and over. This kid has been a winner at every level. Cleveland State grabbing a league championship or two while he was there, 2 high school championships, and now the world championship in his very first season. Wow. That's how you start a career that hopefully lasts for a decade or so throughout. And he's got some great tutors. It's going to be something else to see him grow, as he is the apprentice for Mario Chalmers, who has grown amazingly in his time with the Miami Heat. a wonderful regional connection to the greatest player on the planet.